What? So,
We got a man in the studio now,
oh,
a dad.
Boy. He's obviously very brave or stupid.
Well, welcome to the show, Mark.
Mark
Thanks for
Gough.
having me.
Great to have you. Okay, so this is a great segue because Kathleen had some fabulous ideas if you have an idea for a product and just some things about being an entrepreneur and how important it is to really listen to the advice of people that know because of their own mistakes they've made or watching other people. So Mark, you are a serial entrepreneur.
Yeah, first of all, tell our audience who you are, what you do, and kind of the background so we kind of understand who is Mark Gough.
The husband
If you-
of Tina. She's the one.
The most important factor.
And you can do a shout out to your 4 kids, too.
No, I started in finance. I spent about a decade in the investment world, and I think it gave a lot of great groundwork, just understanding dynamics of a company and from the financial perspective, as well as how they get product out the door and capitalize on the relationships they have for whether it be retail or just distribution as a whole. And then from there, kind of identified a few ideas and started my own firm, and that was back in Chicago, and from there just kind of grew out. And probably the most important factor was just continuing to keep my eyes open and identify, you'd be amazed at just walking down the street where things just come up and you're like, wow, that's an unbelievable
See?
But
idea.
don't you think that you have some people have that entrepreneurial mind that you just can't turn off? Like you see everything and you think that's a great idea, I need to start that business. Are you kind of like that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much in a
I
nutshell.
think you have to have an element of that. I mean,
Yeah.
I think so many people walk around with blinders where they can't even think about the idea of leaving the position they're in, even regardless of the idea, just because they're not used to looking out of the box. And I think that's a really big, important factor.
Well, the 40,000-foot view.
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to.
So when I met you, you were creating, manufacturing products.
Yeah, I once I left the investment world, I started looking at things. What's the one way? And this is one suggestion.
Aren't you kind of glad you're out of that investment world right about now?
Well, I have a lot of friends that have made a substantial amount of money. And,
That's true,
they've done
that's
pretty
true.
well. So they, again, it goes back to capitalizing on opportunity, identifying the opportunity, regardless of what you're doing or what you're selling. And one of the things, the biggest tips I'd give mothers or moms at home, or even dads, is if you're going to go out and start your own business, not just identifying a product, but look for proprietary elements to the product. I mean, if it's not patented, look for, let's say, can I pick up a license on the cheap, as Kathleen was talking about, and tying that license in with the product that you're looking to develop.
So you have an idea, and then you look for the proprietary element of that. So do you go do a search at USPTO.gov or something like that?
I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can do it. You can go to licensing shows and say, wow, that piece of art. I mean, I did a lot of things with the Picasso estate for a number of years, where it's, hey, these beautiful paintings, how can I turn this and capitalize on, putting it onto textiles, whether it be neckwear or scarves or bags.
But see, now, people don't know that there are licensing shows.
I had no idea.
And then you just throw out this little, I worked with the Picasso estate. What?
Well, you pick up the phone and you start calling people. If you have an idea...
women, we got to call.
You make phone calls. And women love to gab. I mean, well, men like to gab, but women really, they're sitting down having coffee clutch and just really... I mean, we have the coffee on the table. I mean, really just chatting amongst...
Yeah, we talk a lot.
Yeah.
We do.
Well, I mean, I think that's an important factor, is really, I mean, just looking at that mug rather than just putting a sunflower on it, that could be Van Gogh.
So you get
just
the
little
licensing.
things like that.
So I guess we're taking this really outside the box.
Yeah.
People don't realize how much opportunity is really there.
Yeah. I mean...
So you go and license things to put on products?
Yeah, I'll go and I'll negotiate a proprietary license, exclusive license with someone, or even if it's not exclusive, if it's a product that I think could work well by marrying the licensed, the intellectual property with it, then I'll take that and take it to market. And you'd be amazed at the response with retailers, because now you're not just dropping a name they've never heard of. Now you're dropping a name that maybe has already been out there in the marketplace.
It's doing half your branding for you.
Exactly. So work with what you have that's out there. Just try to identify things that maybe that company hasn't identified, and see if there's a way to work with them on a cooperative basis or getting it exclusively. And there's a lot of companies that won't allow that. But
I just find it fascinating because I think that we're pretty entrepreneurial, right? And we have a lot of ideas.
Yes, I am.
But I didn't know that there were licensing shows that you could go to. I mean, are these like conventions?
Yeah, there's actually one in New York twice a year, and they have one in Shanghai. They have one, a very small one that they've started up in LA. But it's literally, they have everything from art to, from the Marilyn Monroe estate. I mean, they have all these different estates that are there. And
So,
I may be giving away a trade secret, but that's
Well,
right.
so then you go to the show and then you find something you like and you negotiate a licensing
Yeah, you
deal.
just start talking with them. I mean, I wouldn't jump right into it, but I would look if you have an idea from a product, and this also helps if you just want to start a business, going and walking these shows, even going and walking a trade show, a gift show, and looking at what's really out there. And that's one of the biggest things when you're talking about Kathleen, trying to figure out, amongst moms sitting down talking about the idea they have, how to really identify, is it out there?
That's
And
a
if it
great
is,
idea.
you'll find it at a gift show. You'll find it at an apparel show. And they
Right.
are
That's
on
a
a monthly
great
basis
idea.
throughout the country.
That's a great idea.
So when you
go to these shows,
when
that's
you
your
get,
research.
When you get an idea and you want to do that, how long does it take you to like negotiate a deal or take your idea and then have it actually making money for you?
Well, I'll tail off what Kathleen, it really depends. There's so many people that if you look at what they do, they come up with this idea and it sits in their garage. It's all about this fantasy of, I'm a business owner. I've started my own
Yes.
business.
It's very romantic.
It's very romantic. It sounds incredible when you're talking to your friends, and after enjoying a glass of wine with your friends, you could really expand on it. But if you actually recorded what you were saying, you could capitalize on what you just said. When you're with your friends, because you really can flesh out the idea that you have and take it to market faster than to just keep it in conversation.
Yeah, keep it in a conversation.
If you just identify the product you're going to develop, and what other aspects of it, whether it be an intellectual property or a licensed type of product, and then what market you want to go after, and keep it really defined at first, and really focus on that. And I love reps, and I think it's a great resource, but reps want to sell products that are easily identifiable to their customers.
Right.
And if it's something that may not be there, you're always going to be your best salesperson. So even if a rep has it at a show, if you're not showing up at that show, you have to participate in every expense related to the show. So I think it's really important that your client your customer base or your audience know that if you're going to take a product, after you've identified it, you identified the market, you understand the expenses behind producing that product. I mean, there's minimums that you have to look at and things like that. But there's a lot of manufacturers, if they think it's a cool idea, they will say, look, I'll make the samples for nothing.
Really?
If you can, it depends on the product and how comfortable they are in the conversation.
But it's kind of like a sale. Oh, we only have 10 seconds. We'll be right back with more.
We have
This is a
tips from
fascinating conversation.
It is. It's
We'll be right back.